Hello, Project Runway fans. Daniel Montgomery here, Gold Derby editor, here with my fellow Gold Derby editor, Susan Wloszczyna, to talk about Project Runway All Stars Season 7, the last Project Runway All Stars season to air on Lifetime. Perhaps the last Project Runway All Stars season to air ever, depending on what Bravo decides to do now that they have the show back. We're 6 weeks into the show now, and there are 9 contestants left. So, Susan, who are you predicting at the moment will win this season?
Well, I think Sean Kelly he doesn't always surprise because he's the fringe guy, but he does pretty, remarkable designs, given that he has to incorporate fringe every time he does it. And I thought his one this week was quite nice. It was the red carpet week, and I think that would probably work for someone. Irina comes and goes. She kind of overdoes things. Her, if you have a drama queen client that wants big things, hanging around their shoulders, she's the one to go to. But I thought she did very well today. And who else? Well, Michelle and Dmitry are probably the most notorious returnees, and I think he's getting in a rut, and she just lost it this week because it just looked like something I would find at the bottom of my laundry basket or something I didn't want to wear again. So she won last week, so it's kind of goofy that happens all too often, that they kind of slack off or something.
Yeah, it's like, and I can sort of see what she was going for. She was trying to do something more, like a little bit more bohemian or unusual. But I thought the design itself was a little too basic. There was nothing to that dress, and the patterns and the fabrics weren't really working with each other the way she wanted them to. So I think it was, I don't think it was awful, but I think it was definitely a miss.
But it was funny how Evan, the Canadian winner, he got all sorts of being dumped on for his design and cheap fabric and all that. And then the judges that's what was, the winner. So, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought Evan's look, I was a little worried for him because they made a big deal in this week's show about how he always finishes early, so he looks kind of cocky. He's
takes naps.
Takes naps. He's designing himself a fanny pack,
right?
With his leftover time, and everyone is so resentful of that they're like, right. Oh, you're not trying hard enough. You're not like this. Your fabric looks like garbage. This is. And I like looking at this thing. I was like, no, it looks pretty good. Yeah. I think the worst thing you could say about it was that it was simple, but it wasn't. It was simple, but it was still dramatic enough to have an impact on the runway, which is what's really important.
And had enough metallic stuff. Like one thing with Irina, she just always puts one thing too much on her designs, and it's like overwhelming, But this looked like, it looked elegant and it was well made and all that. And the other weird thing that Michelle did was leave room for the shoes to poke out. What is that about? I think she made that up. So.
Yeah, I mean, the shoes thing is a little surprising because like every week on a Project Runway show, I hear, I don't want to see the shoes. I don't want to see the shoes.
Right.
And she's like, oh, I'm going to show you shoes. It's like,
No. But poor Anya, her skill set only took her so far. And I mean, I appreciated how people were trying to help her, but they knew she had no chance of winning. So they probably just wanted to get her out there and get her out of there. So.
Even without those crazy long sleeves that Anya had, I think she was a little like it didn't fit very well. It was very unflattering fit on her model. So I think she would have been doomed either way. But I'm actually I think you're right about Irina being a little bit extra all the time. I'm actually predicting her to win now. And our odds at Gold Derby at going into week 7 of the show at the moment. This keeps changing, but she's number 1 in our predictions, and it's because she goes over, but only one time has that not worked out for her, which was her really, really kind of tacky graduation dress with like the low cut and the high hem, and it
looked like a Follies Bergère girl was going to wear it, not someone going to their graduation party.
Yeah. But every other week, she's been extra, but in a way the judges have really liked.
Yeah.
And I think the judges will, like we've seen a lot this season, the judges will eliminate someone who is boring and uninspired, or they'll eliminate someone who goes all out, which is why Django is still around, because he fails, but he fails big.
Yeah.
So they appreciate that over someone who's not really trying too hard.
Yeah.
And she's won a challenge. She's had a high score in almost every other challenge, except for the one where she almost was eliminated. So right now I think she's on the right track. I think she has the right idea. And I thought her red carpet look with the 2 tones, with the sequins
I like that you could play with it and change it while you're sitting there somewhere.
And that was fantastic. I want pants like that.
Yeah.
So I think Anthony Ryan, another one who had like a close brush with elimination in week 1, but ever since then, he's been rock solid. Even when he's not in the top 3, which he's been a couple of times, and he's won one challenge. I always like his work, and I always like his personality, because he's a little catty, but not in the kind of mean way. Like, he'll throw shade at someone else's design, but he always seems very personable and cooperative. He helped Anya this week along with Sean. So I genuinely like seeing him on the show, and like seeing his work, and like seeing his personality. So I hope he sticks around.
Yeah.
And he's looking pretty good in our predictions too.
They always like the Southern guy. There's always somebody from the South, and they act like that. A little snotty, but in their heart, they're a good person. Well, you have this theory that they were getting rid of the people from other countries who won their project Runway, but has that been the case up until now, or?
I'd say it got a little bit more even with Anya, because there were 4 eliminations before this week, and almost all of them, 3 out of the 4, were of contestants from the foreign spin-offs of Project Runway. So I'm like, do they not have what it takes to compete, or are the judges, like, since they don't know them as well, biased against them or some way? This week Anya went home, so it's like 3 and 2, so it's even. It's basically even.
Yeah.
But there are only 4 foreign designers left. But what's interesting is that in our predictions at Gold Derby, at the moment, all of our top 3 are from the American shows, which is Irina, Anthony Ryan, and Dmitry Sholokhov. Even though 2 of those are foreign-born designers, they're just but they competed on American runway shows. The only foreign spin-off show designers left are Christina Exie, Evan Biddell, Django Steenbaker, who I think is going to be eliminated sooner rather than later, and Cynthia Hayashi. Of those, I think Evan Biddell, he hasn't had a low score yet. He hasn't won a challenge yet either. He's won like 6 different weeks. There have been 6 different challenge winners. No one has won twice yet.
Right.
So of all the people who hasn't gotten a low score yet, he's the only one who hasn't won anything. So I think he has the best chance of making the top 3 at least for those foreign designers.
Was he the one who said he never had been judged yet?
It had been a while. He made the top 3 in the first episode.
Yeah.
Okay. He'd been safe every single week since, so he hadn't gotten a judge's critique, and so this was his first judge's critique since the season.
Yeah, but no, I think of all the foreigners, I think he has the best sense of what they want when the challenge is described, and they don't just go off, half cock and make something. I mean, that is not even something anybody would dare wear on a red carpet, let alone anywhere. But yeah, no, I mean, it's an interesting group of people because they are all winners. So, you know, but maybe some standards overseas are different. But then again, you know, Anya never really learned to sew, so there's that too. So, and she won here. So,
yeah, well, I mean, good for her for having won a season of Project Runway without having learned how to sew. Right. Really, very much. The idea that she's not really good at structure. I can see that with a contestant, but it's very hard to see that with a winner. Like I watch her season, so it's like, wow, impressive. Like she must have been really amazing at what she does well.
Right.
For her not to have ever run into that problem before.
Well, nobody else has a lot of drama when it comes to sewing machines. They used to show that a lot more in the beginning, but these people are all pretty much pros at this point. They probably have their own line of clothes, some of them, and all that. So,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I think, you know, those days of getting drama out of, you know, breaking your needle or sewing through your finger or whatever, not being able to hem a pant. I mean, those things are.
Well, we did have a little bit of bloodletting this season. Michelle, like, stabbed her finger.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But nothing too. And she was shocked by it. Like, this has never happened to me before. I'm a professional. Yeah. Of course, like, accidents happen. You're around sharp objects. Eventually, someone is going to get, you know, poked.
But I don't think she bled on her fabric, so that was a good thing.
No. Although, I mean, you know, maybe if she wanted to, she, you know, could have enhanced the design. It could have
been put a little rose on there, and nobody would know. But no, it's a kind of a, I guess, a rite of passage here for the show because, yeah, I'm going to miss not having Tim Gunn. I don't know about Heidi so much, but. You know, hopefully Christian Soriano will, you know, pick up the mantle and move it in a, you know, different, better direction. I don't know. But no, I'm glad they brought this back one last time. But yeah, but it's one of those things where with a lot of reality shows, they call people celebrities and you're like, I don't know who this is who's judging.
A lot of times it'll be someone from like a Disney Channel original movie or something like that. Or I've heard of most of them. I have heard of Deborah Messing. So and next week they have Andrew Rannells. So I know who Andrew Rannells is.
I don't.
They've been pretty good about it.
Who's Andrew Rannells?
Rannells. He's the Broadway actor. He was in Girls. He was in the Book of Mormon. He's in that new Showtime show Black Monday. You probably I'm sure you know him if you
I might have seen him, but I don't know the name. Well, I'll get to know him next week.
Yeah, absolutely will. It'll be an avant-garde challenge, which
oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that, honestly, that's going to be perfect for Irina because as we've both talked about, she's extra, so this is the one challenge where it's like going too far is exactly where you need to be for an avant-garde challenge.
Right. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, no, I'm glad it's back. One last hurrah in Lifetime, and we'll see if it's worth watching in the future. So.
And everyone watching, you can make your predictions at goldderby.com every single week. You know, who will win, who will be eliminated, get bragging rights if you managed to figure that out, because with champions it's been so up and down. You know, if you're next to the bottom one week, you can win the next week, and vice versa. That has been happening all the time this season. So I think the number one user who has predicted the whole season so far has gotten 15% right overall.
Ooh, so it's complicated.
I'm good. In the top 20 with 5% correct.
Okay.
Which I think means I've gotten one thing right all season.
So no one's won more than once.
No designer has won a challenge more.
So it's hard to say who the front runner is.
Exactly. Yes. So I'm sort of going by who has been in the top the most consistently,
okay,
and who has stayed out of the bottom most consistently. So I think like people like Irina and Anthony Ryan and Dmitry and Evan are looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
But
okay.
It's hard to say. You never know. Django, maybe this will he'll break it, this every week the slate is wiped clean, so he could win every challenge from here on out and then win the season.
So have you used Django Unchained anywhere in your recaps?
One week we were predicting him to be eliminated, and our odds were, and my headline was Django unsafe ?
Oh, that's good. That's even better.
He's going to come unhinged soon because he keeps fighting with mentor Anne Fullenwider. And from the clip from next week, it looked like they could have another, Anne is going to be like, this is not going to be good.
As long as he doesn't use anything puke green, I think it will help him out.
Or Granny Pink.
Apparently. Granny Pink, yeah.
With that, thank you, Susan, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will be back to reconvene and reevaluate these contestants, soon as the season progresses. Thank you very much.
Thank you.